New addition to the family, I got that MPC Live right here. I still haven't made a beat with it, so I don't really know what to say about that, but I suppose it's the same as the MPC Touch that I was using. Let's talk about this MPC Live and compare it, tell you what I think between the two, which one I prefer, and hopefully if you're trying to make a decision between these two, maybe I can help you with that. I love using this. And at the moment, I'm living in between two places. So whenever I go to the other house, I need to take my MPC. That's the reason why this is here. I took it a couple of times and I said, like, I'm not doing this again. It's just such a hassle, especially when you have the same machine in a portable form. You know, like I can make all my projects right here and then transfer with a USB or an SD card into my MPC Live. It's just way easier. I needed that portability, and it's a huge relief that I won't take this again with me on the road. Even in the house now, I feel like I don't need to be in here all the time. I can take this with me and just sit on the living room, watch some TV while I'm cutting some samples, whatever, doing some work. I was kind of like, damn it, why did I buy the X? Like, I should have just gotten this. But at the same time, I'm still making all my beats on the X. I seriously love this machine right here, and there's a reason why, because there's buttons for everything, and the transport controls are amazing. I prefer these type of buttons. The way the buttons feel, I just prefer that a lot more. The transport control buttons, the locate buttons, cursor, the data wheel, I mean, just the whole buttons feel a lot better than these ones. I really enjoy working with this because I get that connection that I had with working with my other MPCs, the MPC Ren, the XL, the 2500. I get that full control of an MPC that I really enjoy that. Apart from that, the pads feel exactly the same. It's the same thing, really. Finally they got a volume control on the top. That's great. The speakers, they're fun to use. We can hear the bass clearly. You can hear the samples, but obviously I would use them as reference monitors as well to just to see how the beat is sounding on these type of speakers, so you can kind of hear how your mix is in these speakers. Kind of helpful as well. But definitely one of the things that sets these two machines apart is the Q-Links. I used to work with the Renaissance and I loved my 16 Q-Links. These ones are better than the Renaissance. You have the displays right there that tell you what you're working on. Plus you have Q-Link screens that you can jump between, so you don't even need to go into the program edit. You can just tap on that button and this is what you have inside of the program edit. You have your filters, you have your envelopes right there, you have your level, your panning. So you don't even need to go into a certain screen. You can be in the grid mode and just jump between screens of the Q-Links. So that's a major help with the workflow. With the MPC Live, obviously you don't have that type of workflow. I'm not on the Q-Links as much. I do use it now and again, but it's not really the same thing. It's a whole different concept when you get to the MPC X. Q-Links really take a full chunk of your workflow. You're on the Q-Links all the time. Things that I like, really, I love the fact, let me lower this down for you. I feel like because you have the screen and you're always stretching for the screen, sometimes you start to tire your arms, and I feel that it's way more comfortable to work with the MPC Live than the MPC X. Everything is much more contained. You're on it. It's right here, you don't have to be stretching all the time. I prefer to chop samples on this. I think it's much more comfortable to work with this than to work with the MPC X. I noticed a huge difference between the screens. Obviously the MPC X has a much bigger screen, and when you're working with the X for a long time and then you jump onto the Live, it's a huge difference. It's like you really need to be careful where you put your finger on the screens. Here you don't have to be as careful. You can just, there's so much space on the screen. It's easy to work. It's easy to grab the notes on the grid and move things around. So at the end of the day, the purpose of the Live is to be portable, and it does a great job at that. Preference, the X. I prefer the X a lot more. I mean, I've had this for a couple of weeks or so. I'm not using it to make music. I'm using this one to make music. Just because of the Q links, because of the way you have dedicated buttons for everything. The way they sound, I mean, they sound almost the same, if not the same. At this point, like, the way the MPCs sound is really up to you. You have so many plugins inside that help you shape the sound. Obviously not the reasons why you would buy an MPC Live, but for a person like me that does YouTube videos, I can finally get away from the studio. I can go and just make videos somewhere else, because at this point I believe that you guys are tired of watching the same background all the time. So I can now just make my beats, take this somewhere, and get some cool footage that you guys can see. And I'm really excited about having this, even though I do prefer my MPC X. And at some point I was like a bit frustrated, thinking that, oh man, I should have gotten the Live because I can take it to my other place. But definitely not. I really love my MPC X. I mean, if you're starting, if you want to choose between the two, if you want the portability, which I think it's a huge thing, go for the MPC Live. But if you're not going to move too much, if you're just going to stay in the studio, and if you don't mind paying that extra, then it's a hell of a machine. The MPC X, it's just it's an amazing sampler. Now we're going to watch some other videos with me making beats somewhere else. It's a huge thing for me as well to do that. I really want to go outside and make some other crazy videos for you guys. Hopefully you'll enjoy that as well. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this. Welcome the MPC Live 2 to the family. If you have some questions, go ahead and I'll try to answer them. Okay, thank you so much for your support. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.